This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Farming Simulator 22 Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Energie Park. But before that, this video is brought to you by Will Houseman and Etienne Marin. Thank you for being farm barons. So the Energie Park map can be found at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu, and as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for PC players only. Let me read you a little bit of the description. Welcome to Energie Park, a farm run in Popular Bavarian Region. This map includes 78 fields, 103 buyable lots, 5 buyable courtyards, a BGA that is tied to Farmland ID 1, machine dealer, cattle dealer, 4 points of sale, and precision farming support. Now there is a note that Farmland ID 4 and 5, which is manure storage and the biogas plant, is assigned to Farmland ID 1. Now this shouldn't be that big of an issue with respect to single player, because with single player, you are Farm ID 1. In multiplayer though, it's important that Farmland ID 4 and 5 is always associated with Farm 1. Otherwise, you will run into issues. Now, this map also includes 6 required mods. So in addition to the mods that we typically use when we take a look at maps, which is additional field info, additional game settings, field lease, field calculator, and precision farming, we're also going to be using the BGA 60 kilowatt bunker silo. We also are going to have then the field silo mod, as well as the half-timbered barn and slurry tanks. Now, I'll tell you, if you load this map up in Farm Manager mode or start from scratch, it will be exactly how you're going to see it here in New Farmer mode. In all play modes, you do have some starting machinery. In all play modes, there is no starting farm. And here we are loaded on in. Let's go ahead and take a look at the PDA. This is a smaller than standard size map. I would probably assign it maybe about size 50%, maybe 45% of a standard size map if I needed to. We do have all the standard crops available to us in Farm Sim 22 on the map. And if we go ahead and take a look at our lands area, you'll see that we start out by owning field Farmland ID 60, 81, 80, 20, and 6. All of our machinery is located here at Farmland ID 1. I'm going to call this our starting farmland area. It is going to be $310,000 to buy. Now, given the fact that it costs so much money, then I would suggest either buying one of the alternate bill areas, which are Farmland ID 2, which is $28,000, Farmland ID 92, $75,000, or Farmland ID 103, which is $26,000, sorry, as areas to start out with, or maybe suggest starting in Farm Manager mode. That way you have some more cash, since you do already have the starting machinery here at Farmland ID 1. You'll be able to buy this as well as put down some buildings and then buy some fields around it with that starting capital. Let's go ahead and take a look at our farmland lease screen. The farmland lease screen shows all of the buyable farmlands, how large those farmlands are, if those farmlands include any field or fields, what is included, then lastly, how much is that particular farmland going to cost us. We're going to then be able to compare this to our field calculator screen, which is going to show us the specific sizes of each particular field. So here you can see the field calculator screen. And again, cross-reference the field numbers here with the farmland lease numbers in order to then find out how much any one field is going to cost you. Let's go ahead and take a look and see how the precision farming soil map is being applied to these fields. This map is making use of the US soil map that is a part of the precision farming mod. We take a look at our crop counter. We do have the standard FS22 crop counter available to us on this particular map. And if we take a look down through our prices screen, you will see that we do indeed have the ability to sell all of our base game crops that are available to us in FS22. In addition to our eggs, wool, and milk, as well as our silage, hay, straw, and grass. As we continue further down through our production items, you will see we do indeed have the ability to sell all of our base game production items as well. But one thing that we do not have the ability to do is we do not have the ability to buy bulk lime, nor do we have the ability to sell our stones. So if we are going to be playing with stones enabled, we will need to put down our own stone crusher or sell point. If we continue to look down through our platinum expansion, this map also does not include the ability to sell any of the platinum expansion items. And then lastly, if you are playing with pumps and hoses, you will have the ability to get rid of your separated manure. Take a look. We do start out with a very modest list of starting equipment. Again, in all play modes, that equipment is owned. It is not leased, and it has very low operating hours on it. In addition, we do not have any animal pens. We do have contracts available on this map. We also start out by owning the BGA in single player mode. And then lastly, this map does not have any collectibles. Take a look at our starting fleet. We start out in all play modes with the Fendt Vario 718 medium tractor, as well as the Deuce-Far Topliner 4090H harvester, the 4090H grain header, as well as header trailer. We have the Brantner DD24073/2 XXL dolly trailer. We have the Horsch Torino 3FX cultivator. We have the Amazon KG 3001 Super Power Harrow that is paired up with the Sentya 3000 Super Seeder from Amazon as well. And then lastly, we have the Amazon ZA TS 3200 3-point hitch attached solid fertilizer spreader. As far as other vehicles or implements that are custom and included with the map, this map does not have any of that. Let's go ahead and just quickly tab over to our starting vehicles, and this is our starting farm. Farm tour done. So with respect to, are the farms customizable? Well, yes, indeed, because they are completely void of all buildings. That makes them totally customizable once you actually own the land. Now let's go ahead and take a look at build mode while we are here, because we do have those required mods. There are a decent amount of buildings and such that are listed here in the build mode because of those. With the half timbered barns. We also then have our silo pack and field silo pack. So it's our slurry tankers. Slurry tanks under silo extensions, containers, tools, and then farmhouses are all standard. Under production, we do have the BGA. It is listed as the required mod. Sell points, greenhouses, orchards, and generators. We have the Ircon E115 EP2 solar, sorry, not solar collector, but wind turbine. Now, we will see during the fly around that we do have these wind turbines on various fields. I did test by buying one field that has a turbine in it. I was not able to sell that particular turbine. We have our animals, fairly standard animal areas. As far as our ground textures, fairly standard ground textures. I'm not even going to bother with painting these down on the ground. And then we have all standard plants as well. Let's go ahead and get a little bit of altitude. Most of the things here are going to be right across the street, basically from our starting area. We have a grain sell point located below. We have our sawmill, which is one of the two productions that is available on the map. We also have the BGA. We have our vehicle dealer. We have a grain sell point right across from the vehicle dealer. Here we have the small build area. Further up the road, we have our biogas plant, located right here with 3 pull-through silage bunkers. Just beside field 54 and 50, we have another buildable area located down below. Here we have a grain and fuel buy point. So grain sell point and fuel buy point. Directly in front of us, we have a slurry storage. And this is the Farmland ID 4. This is what the description lists as being tied to the BGA. So when you purchase this land, you'll get a pop-up for the triggers for the slurry storage. There's also a ground bunker here as well for slurry. Not for slurry, but for silage production. Then we have another grain sell point down below here. We also have our animal dealer. And then we have a large build area as well. And that is pretty much the tour of the map. Rolling fields, nothing extreme, but we do have some nice rolling fields here. You will see we also have utility lines crisscrossing through the fields. These utility lines, when I did test them, did indeed have collisions. So again, you will need to work around those, and your hired help will also be avoiding those. Let's grab a Mahindra, see where our vehicle spawns at. Our vehicle spawns at here right beside the yard. Not a massive area for our vehicles, but still very, very doable given the sizes of the fields and all. Now on the other side of the shop, this is where we're going to find our dealer trigger. We have a small build area right here beside what looks like the bakery production, but it is just a sell point. And then on the other side of the church, we have the other build area. I kind of like this other build area because we are making use of kind of different terrain elevations. So we have the upper area here. Now we come down to a lower area that has a couple kind of entry points and exits. Make your way up here to the biogas plant. Just trying to figure out how to get to the BGA. It looks like I went the wrong way. It's okay, we'll just double back. We get a nice representation here of the rolling fields, the train elevation changes. I'm gonna have to keep an eye out for traffic. I haven't noticed any AI traffic at this point. There we have the other buildable plot over here. So let's take this. And this will hopefully take us over to an entryway for that buildable plot as well. We have another grain buy point. And as I mentioned earlier, a fuel buy point as well. So to get to that other buildable area, there must be a road kind of off beside Field 57 that we missed. Kind of coming around the corner of the road there. Like I kind of see it on the PDA at this point. Now, with respect to our scoring metric, we are giving the map a full point with respect to production being built in or areas set aside for such, because we do have the BGA and sawmill built in. Then we also have multiple building areas. A couple really right by town do give you the indication that they would be possibly intended for production. Here we have the BGA that is again tied to Farmland ID 1. In multiplayer, you're going to want to make sure that you are Farmland ID 1 when you do that. Now, I want to buy this and see, we should be able to sell the BGA because it is an optional mod. And then can we get rid of the silage bunkers? Looks like we can indeed. So if we wanted to, we could sell the BGA here and the bunkers. Can we get rid of the deco elements? No. Looks like they are permanent. So if we do that, then you could kind of expand this field out of it more to this area, or put down your own custom BGA or whatever else you want. It's always good to see you have that customizing capability. Speaking of customizing, like I mentioned, we're going to give the map a full point with respect to the ability to customize the farm, because there is no farm actually built out. Once you buy your designated building site, then you'll have full control over customizing and building out your farm. So a full point there as well. Full point with respect to the ability to sell our basic crops, production items, and animal outputs as well. With respect to buildings, we purposely are using the new texturing technique. There aren't a whole lot of buildings here on the map. Many are using the new technique. There are a few that I believe may be somewhat suspect, but they all have really good textures nonetheless. So we are going to be giving the map 3/4 of a point there. We have another grain sell point, a bale sell point around the back. Then the last point of interest, which is going to be player in interactive areas being clearly marked. We'll talk more about that when we get down here to our last point of interest, but I believe that overall those are indeed clearly marked. So let's just reserve ourselves for a moment. So we have our animal dealer, trigger. Then we have a dump point. And I believe these other markings are kind of residual of this building, which was probably a flour factory on some other maps. I think we've seen the structure kind of used as a flour factory. But here it is simply a sell point. So overall, we're going to give the map a full point there as well. So that's going to wrap this up and give this map a score of 4.75 out of 5. But really, the only spot that it lost points was being a little, probably a bit particular with respect to the building wall textures. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below with respect to Energie Park. This is the map you're looking at playing. What do you think of the layout? And what do you think of the fact that you don't have farms built out at the start? Really just giving you the complete and total freedom to build out whatever you want. And until next time, happy farming.